This meeting is being recorded.
Behind them, Inspirational Girl at the 200. Sansom joined by Behemoth, the defending champ. Then Bo Rossa and Tafane. Behemoth, 100 metres to go. Elite Bo Rossa, Tafane. Behemoth, the big brute, goes back to back in the Memsie. Behemoth has just won from Bo Rossa, Tafane.
Welcome, punters, to another episode of the Whispers Racing Podcast. First Group 1 of Victorian racing season, Memsie Stakes Day at Caulfield. We'll be previewing races 4, 6, 7 and 8, the big ones, to get through them and find the winners. And Matty will be finding them plenty. As always, we're joined by Matty. How are you?
Going well, Worm. How are you, mate?
Yep, going well. We're a day earlier. I keep thinking it's Thursday and I'm chomping at the bit ready to go for Saturday, but I've got to get through Bendigo and Pakenham Synthetic before we get to Caulfield.
It's all right, mate. We get the early mail.
Yep. The very, very earliest of mail. So take the prices while we can.
Indeed.
Last week, we'll start with the Carlisle Stakes. We were very heavy with Extremely Lucky Cam. We had a few little other side bets, but I just don't think Extremely Lucky handled the heavy and the valley. So forgive the horse. Go again next start. I hope they go to Flemington next start, and I think it'll be more ideal. Straight line speed is electric. Anything to add, Matty?
Yeah, mate, didn't seem to be able to get there across the last 200. As you said, didn't seem to handle the heavy or the valley, so we'll forgive that one. Hopefully we do get to see it at a bigger track where I think it'll be much better suited. So bit of a forgive and we'll move on from Extremely Lucky. But moving up to Sydney, how do we go in the Wink Stakes?
I'll just get the fire started, mate. We got burnt. I'll just apply the sunscreen because, yeah, we got royally burnt, I reckon.
What were we thinking?
Well, I'm still happy with the choices I made off each jump outs, but Jesus, J-Mac, that was dead set, 11 out of 10 ride. Barrier 1, it was off the inside. He dead set schooled us.
Absolutely. There's no other way to put it. And that means Animo has won a Group 1 as a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 4-year-old. Jeez, J-Mac, well played.
It'd be interesting if any listeners out there be thinking, oh, well, how many other horses have done it? We were just talking. There's only been one other.
Only been one. Show of Heart.
Yep, Brisbane horse. I remember it. I was betting under the age of 18 on it.
But an amazing effort just to maintain that consistent high level across the age of 2, 3, and 4. You don't see it. Clearly don't see it often.
No, and it was good to see. At the end of the race, James Cummings was getting so emotional, and it was more later on we found out that everyone wanted to send it to stud except him.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Good on him.
See why they wanted to start as well. It would have been exceptionally horrific if it came back and failed as a 4-year-old, but great call by James.
They want that Cox plate. That's how eager they are if he's still in running.
Well, it can really pick its course to the Cox plate now.
Yeah, yep. It's seeded 1 of the Aussies.
Yes.
And seeded 2's running on Saturday.
What a cracking day of racing do we have at Caulfield.
Oh,
unbelievable.
Right. But we do have to go back to the Pineapple. This is a dead set. One of the greatest victories we've had in our podcast. Cuso, $1.90 and $1.50. Jeez. I wasn't wrong, though. I did say $1.90, take it now, because it would start at $1.60. It pissed in. That's how we like them at the Pineapple, but wouldn't mind a 2 in front of it next time. I think he runs Saturday from memory.
Well, you do have the Pineapple again, Worm, so if you'd like to guide us in at $1.70 this week would be nice.
Yeah, we're going to start. Well, we're going to find a horse with odds, but it might start in that $1.70 range, I think. So
that is why we are taping on a Wednesday night. Get the early odds, peoples.
Yeah, get the early odds while I don't take them and wait till Saturday like I always do. Buying shares in. You buying any shares?
I will, mate. We headed up to Sydney and it was a cracking meet up there last week. Pizarro raced in the last up there. 4-year-old gelding and looks much more mature than when I was racing against as a 3-year-old. It's been really consistent, and I can see this 4-year-old gelding winning plenty more races. So it will be popped into the portfolio. Worm, half of my portfolio will be running on Saturday. It's going to be an absolute cracker.
Yeah. I'm not adding anything. Yeah, I just think Moonee Valley played Moonee Valley as I thought it would. Played a bit yucky. Just forgive a few horses. Not many ran on. So just just leave that card alone and we move on. Cashing out on anything, Matt?
No. As I said, I've got 7 live runners this weekend. I will not be cashing out.
I look forward to you telling me every time they win. Portfolio. I look forward to it.
Let yourself, mate.
Yeah. Sitting home today watching the races. Yep, lost. But tell you what, I know spring's in the air, but I think people just need to settle down a bit. All right. We know the Melbourne Cup noms are out. We know Cox Plate noms are out. Caulfield Guineas. I'm putting that aside, Caulfield Guineas. They're different 3-year-olds. But seriously, today, a horse won today at 2,100 metres. It pissed in. Great to see. And the report afterwards, yep, we've nommed it for the Melbourne Cup. And I think we're a live chance. Now, seriously, mate, it was only a benchmark 70 race. Oh, please, mate. You won't even finish in the top 100 ballot, let alone get recognised. Good on you for having a dream. I'm not knocking anyone for having dreams. Oh, my dream is to have a Group 1 horse too. But let's be realistic. And this goes to the hosts, to the experts. When you're interviewing, don't bring up, you've nommed it for the Melbourne Cup. Like, seriously. It's a benchmark 70 race. Give me a spell. And then I thought, yep, I've had my rant. I'm done. And then 2 races later, a horse wins and they go, you've nommed it for the Cox Plate. And he's like, yeah, it's we're going to push forward to the Cox Plate. Come on, mate. You won a benchmark 70 on a Wednesday. Oh, seriously, just be realistic. That's all I ask. And the funny thing is, that top one that won the stayer, it was $18 for the Melbourne Cup at a bookmaker. $18. And then you go to Betfair, it was $260. Like, come on.
Oh. I will ask you one question. Would you be cashing out a Very Elegant?
Geez, she's on a fine line. I'll give her one more because that was 1,600, correct?
Yes.
Not its distance. From when it was racing down here, they always kept saying it wanted 2,400. So I'll give it one more. That split that it did between, I don't know, I think it was the 8 to the 6 to the 6 to the 4. They went 12 lengths quicker in that split. And you can't win from the back doing that. It didn't get beaten far. And that's the thing. Everyone's jumping off. Bray, the owners, they're greedy. Yeah, fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion, but shit, I'd send my horse over to France if I could.
Mate, I would not be jumping off either. As you mentioned, Frankie went exceptionally hard between that. Probably the 700 and the 500, 400, exceptionally hard and made very little ground. So yeah. I'd be staying on the tempo of that race. Definitely did not suit.
Yeah, and it was a good track too. And we know she doesn't like good tracks. So, you can make excuses, but I'll stay with her and I'll probably be wrong next start. So, knowing me.
Very Elegant has proven us all wrong on plenty of occasions.
She's one of the best we've had. So, not the best, but she's up there in the talks. So, I'm not writing her off. You don't write off champions.
That is right. Anyway,
Saturday, track stats, rail true, track soft 6 on Wednesday night. There's a little bit of rain tonight, not a lot, but I reckon it'll get to a soft 5 and fingers crossed we get to a 4. That'd be bloody great. If that's the case, I'll be looking for horses on speed. I don't think they'll edge off because with rail 6, rail 9 previously, there was a lot of marking out there. So lane 1 to 6 or 5, it's going to be fresh. Maybe 3 to 4 might be the A1, but should be good racing. No excuses. For the meeting, I tread very carefully. There's a lot of first up runners. It's almost a learning day, I reckon, just to see how horses come back. I'm not saying that we won't be betting. I'm going hard on a few, but just keep an eye on them, put them in your portfolio, black book them, because there's a lot of first up runners and we want to see how well they've come back.
Very good call. And we can get excited about some of these very good horses coming back first up. It can be a little dangerous, but there is some very good racing. And as we said, we'll definitely be trying to find a few for our friends to be jumping on.
Yep. And at 5:22 p.m. on Saturday, we will find out how dangerous that meeting was. So trial trackers, race 9. I'm going to go with Luna Flare. It was part of my portfolio. I'm going to stick with it. Made this horse a black booker from 7 weeks ago and questioned what they were doing this early in the prep. And I think it was June, July. After a great first up run, it's had a jump out since and went well again. Currently $8. I think it's good odds to have an each way play in a very even race. That's race 9, Luna Flare. Right, race 4, Matty, the handicap over 1,400 metres. You want to have a look at it?
We will, mate. I didn't mind the look at this race. Have you got the odds in front of you?
I do. Bear with me. I've just gone to the wrong meeting. Race 4, the handicap. Here we go. We've got the favourite here, Gentleman Roy at 4.80, 14. Wish I Win from New Zealand, $7. 3, Banker's Choice. I said banker at $7. Number 12, Nicolino Vito, $7. Number 2, Buffalo River, $7. And then $11 plus the rest.
Thank you, mate. Look, interesting little race, this one, with 15 starters. I'm assuming that a horse within this field, if we're on a soft 5, 6, or 7, will be able to run 1 length better than benchmark, and that's what I'm doing my form on. Now, if for whatever reason those couple of horses that we're going to go through aren't able to hit that 1 length better than benchmark, it opens up significantly, and I'm talking there's 8 or 9 chances. However, we will be working off a soft 6, 7. As Worm said, fingers crossed we get up to a soft 5. But if that's the case, I'll be doing my form in this race that the winning horse will be 1 length better than benchmark. First one I'll be highlighting here, Worm, is one at odds. Not one that you mentioned. Rich Hips. Runs exceptionally well fresh and ideal distance over 1,400 first up. Forget its last start where it pulled up lane. So that's an absolute write-off. Have a look back to last year's form. It's right up to this class. So if this horse has come back as well as what it was this time, or what it was last spring, then it's going to be right in the finish and has every chance of running circa that 1 length better than benchmark. And at $26, $27, I'll be having a nibble, and I will be having an early nibble because I think the stats will definitely show up that this horse will be wound in, I would suspect, into the teens very, very quickly. I Wish I Win. New Zealand horse. It'll be interesting to see what the market does here with a moody horse and Jamie Carr on board as well. Don't think I'm making that up. No, I'm not. Jamie on board. Look, it was a really impressive place getter in a New Zealand Group 1 where it was held up. It got up the inside. It's got gears, and it definitely proved it in that race and its prior race in New Zealand as well. I expect Jamie to be sitting closer than what it's been doing in New Zealand, where it's been almost dropping out to last. I might be looking for the 1,600. That's probably my only drawback here. But with a horse that has gears, it's one that definitely will be in with a winning chance. Numbers-wise, it can get close to that better, or 1 length better than benchmark. Gentleman Roy. Now, I was tossing up whether to have this as my on-top selection. It is part of the portfolio. surprised that John McNeil isn't on board. I've got Daniel Stackhouse. Now, no issues with a soft track or first up. That's a tick and tick. Expect it to go forward. And it was going to be exceptionally tough to run down over the 1,400 metres. I just believe that it's looking for the mile, and it is going to get some pressure from my on-top selection as the two horses in front. Now, the on-top selection being Buffalo River. Wow, what a first up run that was. Only two Group 1 horses were able to pip it with 50 metres to go in Mr. Brightside and I Am Superman. Now, it won't get an easy lead, as I said. You're going to have Gentleman Roy coming out from barrier 1. Buffalo River cutting across probably to the outside of Gentleman Roy. But its third place getting last start behind Mr. Brightside and I Am Superman proves that this horse is back to its best quality. A little nervous about Logan McNeil being on board and then claiming the 3 kilos. A little bit nervous about that. However, at $7, definitely think it's worth a nibble. Interesting betting race, especially between these four. I haven't landed on exactly what I will be doing. I'll be having something on Rich Hips at 27s, and I'll be deciding between Buffalo River and I Wish I Win. I don't think I'll be taking Gentleman Roy. If it wins, I'll bow my head and turn to you, Worm, and just say, mate, a portfolio winner that I wasn't on board. But I Wish I Win. I'm really interested to see what the market does. And Buffalo River, exceptional first start. Worm, how do you see this race?
Yeah, I'm all in agreement with I Wish I Win. If Moody can put its polish on like he did with Chain of Lightning, I don't see anyone beating this. It's run some good sectionals in New Zealand around the low 11s for the last 200. So, yeah, it goes back to last normally. I wonder if Moody tells Jamie straight to the front or right behind Buffalo. If they do that, I can't see him beating it. But it's just a lot of ifs, what ifs in a very even race. The other one I'm keen to look at is number 3, Banker's Choice. 3 from 3 on good tracks. If they get to a good track, I know he's going to be last. I know he's going to be wide, and it's not ideal, but I'm keen to have a little play on him. Yeah, he was on tracks last prep, heavy 9, soft 6. Unsuited, but went really well. 2 lengths behind Inspirational Girl, 2 lengths behind Forbidden Love, and 2 lengths behind Mr. Brightside. That is outstanding form. Jump outs are being okay. Yeah, no knocks. Just a B, I've called it. Yeah, they're the two. I'll be probably going harder. I Wish I Win and Saver on Banker's Choice.
Very nice. Interesting little race. As I said, I think the 4 that I mentioned, look, Banker's Choice, no issues with it. I think it's looking a little bit like Gentleman Roy. I think it's looking for 1,600. It was exceptional, the Doncaster last preparation. And probably just looking for the good track too, isn't it? Rather than the soft.
Yep. If they can get to a soft 5, I'll have a play. But if it stays soft 6, I might just let him go and let him win without me on it and dropping F-bombs left, right, and centre.
What I was going to say though is, as I said, if they don't run to that 1 length better than benchmark, it does open up to that 8 horses. Banker's Choice is definitely one of them.
Yep, 100% agree. Race 6, 1,100 metres, Group 3 for the 4-year-olds and older. Matty.
No rest for the wicket. We'll go again. Worm, have you got the odds?
Yep. We've got In the Boat here, favourite $394. Star Patrol $440 to $390. Generation $550, $5. Red Can Man $650, $6. Oxley Road $15 and $16 plus the rest.
Worm, have I got the pineapple this week?
No.
That's a shame. Mate, observations for this race. Really strong pace. They will be bolting along. In the boat, you'd imagine pops straight out and go straight to the lead. The Move, Callis, Star Patrol, Oxley Road. Oxley Road's a bit of an interesting one. We'll touch on it in a sec. But there's going to be some hot pace on in this race. You're going to find about five of them up front, a few in the middle and a few laggers, but I can see it being really hot tempo. And the thing about some of these horses up front, they can sustain the pressure. It's not like they're going to get to 200 metres out and be burnt out. They know how to run at a sustained tempo, which is going to make for a quite interesting race. The few that I want to go through, not an option. Look, with pace in this, I am looking for one horse that I believe can come from the back, that can build into the race and across the last 200 really be pushing through the line. And not an option is the one that I've landed on there. So I think it will work into the race quite nicely. And as I mentioned, there will be pace on in this field. So if anything is going to be coming over the top, that's the one I've landed on. The other two are on pace runners. In the boat, high pressure race. It can sustain that pressure at the front. First up, one jump out, not ideal. I can't fault its form or its previous preparation. The tempo shouldn't be too much of an issue. However, it's going to have a lot more pressure than what it's had in its previous races. So potentially that last 100 to 50 metres could be a bit of concern for it. I've landed on Star Patrol. Now, again, a portfolio horse, and very glad to have it in there. Trialled second behind Bella Nipotina, which is a very, very solid effort and form reference given last week at the Valley. Look, Worm, this horse could win by 3 lengths. Could win by 3 lengths. As long as it does not get into a battle for the lead within the boat. That is my only concern with this horse. I do believe it will settle quite nicely. Benny Mallam on board. I believe it'll take a sit behind it. There'll be a few other horses that'll be able to run alongside. And once it gets to the 300 metres, it will show its class and be winning, and winning quite comfortably. Worm, I'm quite confident with Star Patrol. And another one of the portfolio members that could be saluting on the weekend. How did you see this one?
While you were talking then, I've just rang Caulfield to say you might order a new roof if Star Patrol hits the front, because there could be a dead set screaming match with 200 to go. So they've got a new roof on standby for race 6. First thing I noted with In the Boat, and you mentioned it, one jump out. I don't like that in a high-pressured race. I'm not going to knock him. This camp has one of the best form gurus behind them and be setting it up. But I didn't like his jump out. It was on the synthetic at Warrnambool. I'm happy to take him on. I'm pretty keen to. It'd be interesting to see where it starts in the market. $4, it's either way. The big players could come for it because of all the ones it's got in front of it. But not for me at the moment. Star Patrol, if it can hold what it did in the off-peak racing, it can win. It's running time. It improved the stack last prep, and I just wonder if it can hold it, but I think it will. The one I want to be with, and I'm going to have a nibble now. If this track gets to where I think it will, I think Oxley Road at $15 is stupid odds. It can be a 1x3 if you want. It finally finds a soft 5 if it gets there. It'll love it. Barrier is no concern. Probably sits outside leader. It's had one run this prep, and it's had 2 jump outs, and both of them been really good. The blinkers were on, and it's not on Saturday, so that's a bit of a concern for me. But $15, he's ready to go, I reckon, and I'm happy to have a little play on it, but I will have a main play on Star Patrol.
Well, interesting you mentioned Oxley Road. There were 3 horses I'd noted down that I'm interested to see how they run. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they scratch Oxley Road again if it doesn't get to a soft 5 or good 4. I wouldn't be surprised. It doesn't perform on the soft tracks. We said last week when it was in at the Valley, wait till this horse gets a good track, gets a barrier, goes to the lead. I think there's probably a little too much pressure on in this race to really suit it. But as you mentioned, at $15, it's definitely worth a nibble because it has got the ability. The other two, I couldn't really line up within this race was Callus and Generation. They've been running in some different races, so the form line not as easy to match up. So they're two that I don't necessarily think will be beating Star Patrol, but really interested to see how they run.
Yeah, definitely Callus agree. Generation, I'm going to take him on. It's opinion game, and my opinion is take him on. Like, okay, he won first up in February against Zethus. Where's that now? Don't know. And then got beaten by Finance Tycoon. Like, it's not even much chop either, and this is a harder race. So he's jumped out super. I'm not knocking the jump outs, but I can't be with it with that sort of form line. Yes, September run reads well, but that William Reed was weak as piss. And yeah, end of prep run in the Doomben 10,000. So keen to take him on. I'll probably get pie in my face because of saying it, but yeah, I think Star Patrol.
Oh, I'm on board, mate.
Oh, beauty. Race 7, I'm going to have a crack here. It is the Cockram Stakes. Don't want to say that too wrongly. We've got the odds here. We've got Passive Aggressive, 270, 260. Chain of Lightning, $6, $6.50. Isotope, $7. Graceful Girl, $9.50, $10. Flying Mascot, $10. Kiss on All Four Cheeks, $11, $15 plus the rest. There's only one horse I want to be with here. No, you're not listening to a repeat of a podcast. I was against her and got burnt, and I've learnt. So number 7, Passive Aggressive, first up. First prep was super off-peak racing, only 68 days between runs, has had one jump out and went super. They would have kept this horse ticking over nicely if you're going off its jump out. Can't wait to see her against some competition, and I think she'll handle herself quite well. Barrier 6, Jordan Childs, can either lead or sit off him. I reckon he will. He'll lead, I reckon, with Chains of Lightning, but it doesn't surprise me if he takes a sit either. The only decision he needs to make is when he pulls the trigger. This horse runs to its figures from the last 2 starts. It'll be winning, and I cannot wait to see this horse in the flesh. Number 3, Fly Mascot. Big fan of this horse. Has come back well with 2 jump outs. Last time at 1,200 metres first up was 0.1 off Probabil. That reads well. Probably will be 3 wide following Chain of Lightning. Moves into Chain of Lightning here. I have no knock. Been good 2 runs, but has to go to another level now. Does it have 2 lengths improvement in it? I don't think so, but I wouldn't talk anyone out of backing it. They've been both 2 terrific runs, but it might need to do some work from barrier 13. Number 4, Argentia. Nice horse, come back well, 2 jump outs. I'm worried it might be stuck in traffic from barrier 1. And if it can find a gap, it'll be in the finish, but I don't see a gap opening if the rail is the place to be. Matty.
Well, portfolio, I've got 2.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned both of them, which I was quite happy about. Last time this happened, we picked the wrong one. We picked Start Patrol, and Passive Aggressive got the better of it. This time around, we've got Argentia and also Passive Aggressive. We're both on Passive Aggressive.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Don't want to pick the wrong one. And just one final one. The Pineapple from a few weeks ago, She's All Class, is not going to burn us. Is not going to burn us.
No, it won't.
Okay.
I'm trying to hold back from swearing. It can royally get stuffed after the last start. If it wins, I leave the track. I will not be sitting there watching it come back into the mounting yard. Good luck to the owners. I used to love this horse, but no, we're seeing other people, and I will see other people if this horse wins.
Okay.
I hope for Blake Shin he gets a Metro winner and comes back well, but dead set, I will leave that joint if it wins.
Good. Just wanted to double check. Okay. We are all over Passive Aggressive.
So if you want to have a laugh, go and back it now so you can rub it in my face. But no, I'm pretty keen here. Passive aggressive. It's good because we get to find. Unfortunately, we find out from race 6 if Star Patrol goes the way we think it will. Well, I think this starts easily $1.80, $1.70. Anything else to add?
Like it. No, mate. As I said, strong portfolio within the race, and I think you've landed on the right one in passive aggressive.
I just hope at the 200 he waves ta-da, Jordan Childs. It'd be great theatre. All right, race 8, the Memsie Stakes, Group 1 over 1,400. What a dead set bumper of edition this is. I cannot wait. Odds. We've got the favourite here, Western Empire, $5.50, $5. Alligator Blood, $5.50, $6. Number 11, Elation, $6. Cascadian, $7.50. 12, Tofane, $7.50. Number 1, I'm Thunderstruck, $8.50. Number 14, Snap Dancer, $9.50. And $21 plus the rest. Oh, geez, I had some fun diving into this race. But the one I've got to be with and I'm keen on is number 5, Western Empire. Just go and watch its last prep. It's first up and second up. Impressive. Yes, he beat nothing, but that was due to COVID, and that was the Group 1 railway where they could not fly any Victorian horses in. But he pissed in first up and second up. Lightly raced 5-year-old, which I love to see. Can't wait to see him on Saturday because he wins. I'd forget third up last prep, 3 wide, no cover the trip, and reports up he had a sore back. Didn't have the explosive turn of foot that day, so happy to forgive. He's had 2 jump outs. I really liked his first one. Looked like he's back to where he was. And second up, it was hard to see due to the sun in the camera. And he won that too, but we just didn't know how well he won that. Barrier 12 is sticky, but best case, he's going to be 3 wide with a bum to follow. Worst case, he's going to be 3 wide, no cover midfield. I think he wins no matter what. Serious horse. Cox Plate will look really good when this horse wins on Saturday and is seed number 2 of the Australian crop. Number 3 here, special mention to my favourite, Alligator Blood. I have it not far away from Western Empire in the finish. I think fitness will take its toll late Saturday. Not being able to have a jump out the horse or trial due to the owner issues. So just track work for this horse. So only just going off its Brisbane campaign, he looks to be back to his best, which is good to see. Barrier 1 is sticky because they might be seeing a lot of roadblocks. If they're not careful, Ollie will have to give this an absolute peach of a ride to get out from Barrier 1 and off the rail, but can win if he does. I thought number 3, Cascadian, and number 6, Call Sign Mavs jump outs were the best of this field. They're going really good, and they're in for a good prep. Probably a big race this Saturday. Don't let them get under your guard. If you play your multiples, definitely add them in. The interesting runner here and the X factor for the whole meeting is number 11, Elation. I think the draw is horrible for it. Barrier 13. I think they'll be near last at the 600 metres because of the barrier. If this horse... Is the horse good enough? I say no. It needs to improve a lot to be competitive here. Had 3 starts in 3 very slow races. If there's any sort of tempo, and I think there will be, he could be asking for the oxygen mask at the 200-metre mark. I'm happy to lay this win and place. Currently $6. I reckon it starts with a 9 in front of it. That is Elation. Matty.
Glad you mentioned Elation. There were 2 horses I highlighted in this field when the noms first came out. First one was Western Empire, well and truly on board with you there. But Elation, interesting, especially coming from barrier number 13. It was nominated for about 4 or 5 races across the day. So interesting that they've landed on the feature race. I'm with you, mate. A rating 84 going up against pretty much all horses above 100 rating. It's got to improve by a hell of a lot. And doing that for barrier 13, no thanks. Not going to be anywhere near the $6 currently being offered. Western Empire, I agree. I think Look, it's going to be coming from a wide gate, which not ideal, but proven within this type of class. And that's the difference between it and Elation. And that's why I will be I will be with Western Empire. One I did want to get your thoughts about was Duas. There'll be some listeners that have some future bets on this horse. Thoughts on this race?
If you listen to the Sydney media, this is the second coming of Winks. No, but I'm a big fan of this horse. I think 2000, I reckon you'll be starting to see some serious stuff from this horse. I just cannot be with it by any means, even with stolen money. It was scratched last week due to a high temperature. I could be wrong, but it was scratched due to an issue. It's had a jump out Monday or trial. Now it's got to get a float down. I don't like that sort of stuff. His Aussie Cup wins was bloody impressive, but yeah, I'll be looking for him to run on. And yeah, he could run third. I could be completely wrong, but no, I can't have him. One thing I did note, and it rang my mind, I was seeing on social media, someone I respect as a judge said, with this Elation handicap 84, he's only got if he's 84 now, he doesn't get in the Rupert Clark, which they're going to. Yep. On last year's races, he doesn't get a run. So he needs to run top 6. I just wonder if he's in just to run top 6, get the rating up, get him in that, straight to the Toorak, then into the Golden Eagle.
Okay. That's good feedback. And it's interesting that rating required to get into a few of these races. So it may be the way that the Mick Price camp are looking for Elation.
Yeah, yep. WhatsApp. As it is Wednesday night, we're not 100% pushing things around the grounds, and there's other races to play out. So join our WhatsApp. You can get mine and Maddie's thoughts for Caulfield, Maddie's thoughts around the grounds, because there's a lot to play out between now and Saturday. But come and join. It's been a quiet week due to the crap tracks, but I reckon we'll be starting to heat up now with the good tracks coming on board. And yeah, winning's good fun.
You know why it's been a quiet week? No one needed to make any money during the week after last weekend.
Wasn't me.
It wasn't you, but there were some very, very, very happy community members out there.
Was it?
Yeah, mate. Oh, sorry, was I the only one?
No, it's you. Sorry. Yep. Yep. Sorry, I just remember. I'm just trying to remember who put bets up, and it was you. I reckon you had 2 or 3 winners in Sydney.
In Sydney, yeah, a couple in Melbourne as well. So it was a good weekend. But as we mentioned, we post all of these up on a Saturday morning so that the community can pick and choose.
Yep. 100%. And they can pick and choose again, but they won't be picking and choosing. They'll be just choosing the right ones this Saturday. Around the grounds, Matty, where do you want to go?
Mate, I'm sticking to Caulfield. Sydney, I'm going to wait till the weekend and just see where a few of those horses do land. But we'll go race 2, Saigon. Great first up form. This looks like it's well suited in quite a weak race. Only query is that it may get back. So being race 2, we're not really going to see how the track's playing. That's the only query. Ideally, we do get to that soft 5, and I believe it's going to, with the rail in a true position, I believe it's going to run fairly for some of these earlier races. So Saigon, also I believe the favourite's also nominated up in Sydney.
Yep, in the last race.
So if that does select the Sydney race rather than race 2 in Melbourne, I'll be going after Saigon even a little harder.
Yeah, 100% agree, mate. I'll be keen to see the Sir Lemur in Sydney because Saigon's jump out most recent one, I was really, really impressed by it. $8.50 looks a good bet. Anywhere else you're betting?
No, that's it from me. As I said, I'll pop them up on Saturday morning. I'll have a better look at Sydney.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm going to go back to Morphettville. I've got a good strike rate over there, and we're going Morphettville race 3, Rich Anna. We need to go again, punters. It was a heavy 9 last start. Looked to not really like it. Plus, over-raced early and middle stages, which doesn't help. Might step a bit slowly back 100 metres to the 1,000. I think it will help and should find a good position in running. Currently, a soft 7 on a Wednesday night. Would love to see it get to a soft 5. One thing is this horse will need to overcome the Parks track, which is favouring leaders. But 1,000 metres, they should be able to run on. That is race 3, Rich Anna. It's currently around the $4 mark. Morphettville, race 10, Enchantingly, has had one jump out, and I thought it went super. Barrier 3 to find the front and camp behind the leaders. Take your pick. Really liked its last prep. Good wins on benchmark 60 and 68 races. Then came across to Victoria to finish 1.7 behind Bella Nipotina. Only needs to bring that form across and this prep, and it should be winning. That is race 10, Enchantingly. Multi, I'm going to chuck in Western Empire, the place. That's race 8, Caulfield. Then we're going to go to Morphettville, race 1, Mary Mac Boyd, coming off a very impressive synthetic win. Matty, what are you chucking in?
Star Patrol, win, Buffalo River, place.
$38. Don't have to have much on that to be with it. And I can guarantee you we'll get 3 out of 4 like last time. Oh, no, we got 2 out of 4.
Don't go there. I was about to thank you for not going there, but you can jam it up.
Oh, God, footy's a great game. Pineapple of the week, punters. No surprise here. Race 7, number 7, passive aggressive. As I said earlier, jumped out super. Looks ready for a huge spring. Hopefully a Group 1. Kicks off Saturday with a win, and our Pineapple. That's race 7, number 7, passive aggressive. And if you want to multi him, you can put Star Patrol in it as well, because that's Matty's best bet as well.
Make sure you get onto passive aggressive before Star Patrol wins too.
Yeah, that's 100% right. Maybe at the 200-metre mark when it's in front by 3, just start pushing the button. But gamble responsibly. It's 1-800-858-858. That's all from me. Anything else to add, Matty?
Mate, as I said, I was going to thank you for not mentioning the Carlton-Collingwood game. Very impressed that you didn't go there, so thank you.
There's still Saturday to come, mate. Yeah, looking forward to going. Yeah, I'll bring my cricket helmet. Yeah, that's all from me, punters. Hopefully you fill your pockets up. More importantly, we hope Matty and I fill your pockets up. We'll be out on track in the public. Come and say g'day, because I know someone did to me 2 weeks ago, was giving me a bit of shit that I tipped I am Superman. So thank you to that person. I actually laughed leaving the track. It was great banter. But yeah, have a great weekend and speak to you next week. And our local friendly mate will have our final say.
I'm not a good person, but it just goes to show that good things do happen to bad people. So anyone out there who's up against the wall, fucking stick to it. Every cent you got, your rent, your electricity bill, if you're going to buy your missus a ring, don't fucking do it. Keep punting. Keep fucking punting.